It's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's our goal. Hey, it's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. I am Tom Papa. Thank you for joining us. We have a great show for you today. Kira's not here, but Brad Williams is. Very funny comedian, has a new special called Starfish that is streaming right now on Veeps. He's hilarious. You know him, you love him, and he's our guest today at the table, which is slowly evolving. Can't wait for you to see all of the great things. It's happening slower than I thought it was going to. I thought we'd be done by the time Brad came in, but he's none the wiser. He thinks this is how it's always going to be. You're going to enjoy it. We'd like to thank the good people at Factor, factormeals.com. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Head to factormeals.com/Papa50 and use code PAPA50, that's PAPA50, to get 50% off. That's code PAPA50 at factormeals.com/Papa50 to get 50% off. A good service. Get your eating dialed in. Make it easy. Take the guesswork out of it. Factor Meals, thank you for coming on board today's program. So we have today Brad Williams, who's a very funny comedian. I always love seeing Brad. He's one of the guys out in L.A. When I walk into a club and I see him, I get a nice sense of belonging and joy when I run into little Brad. I don't mean to call him little because he's a dwarf. I just mean like little, like he's my friend, like little Joey, like little Brad. He's so damn funny. He's really smart comic, and he will be our guest here at the table. The table is it's coming along. We've got some big things. We're clearing some stuff out. We're under construction here at the Breaking Bread table. I can't wait for it to be up and functional. I'm literally dreaming about it in the middle of the night. Which is probably the only time you should be dreaming. But I really, truly am excited for everything that's going to be happening, because there's a lot of other things that we can do here, Joey. We can bring in the food that we're baking and cooking, and we can bring in other people. You were eating pizza here at the Trattoria last night. I think I'm just very excited about it. After our record yesterday, I went home, and it's one of those moments where, as someone that's cooking and hosting people, I was very proud of, because we just had my niece come by, who returned to school at USC, and it's just a Monday. And what are you gonna do for me? I'm just coming over. Joey, when I say I might have made the best meatballs of my life last night on just a random Monday, no recipe, no need. I know exactly what's to be done. You get the ground beef, you get the ground pork, you have your parsley, you have your pecorino, grated pecorino, you have your eggs, you have your bread, and just bam. The way that other people, Joey, would maybe make toast or a bowl of cereal, I'm making gorgeous meatballs and rigatoni for my beloved niece. Go ahead, give me some credit.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
On a regular Monday, that's quite the accomplishment.
That would be, to mere mortals, that would be a weekend project. We're beyond that, Joey. And that's what I want to share with our guests, and that's what I want to share with our listeners. And that's why I'm so excited to get our Trattoria open. This is going to be very exciting. Before you know it, Joey, there's going to be people dining in here while we're doing the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Are you excited to go on the road?
Very excited, yeah.
Are you getting nervous that you have to travel?
No.
You're good?
Good, yeah. It's gotten a lot easier to fall asleep before flights when you're flying more.
That's good. We have an early out.
We do.
We have an early out this one.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. It's the first. It doesn't feel like I had a vacation. Like I definitely am less stressed in my head, but it doesn't feel like I don't feel like as energetic, like reboot, let's go, as I would have expected. Because I think because they yanked the tooth out of my mouth, and I'm hopped up on codeine. I think maybe that's clouding the issue a little bit.
That'll do it.
All right, enough of this stuff. Let's bring in Brad Williams. He's a great comedian. You're going to enjoy him, and make sure you check out his new special, Starfish, which is streaming on Veep. Veep is the new streaming service created by Live Nation. They do a lot of concerts and stuff, and now they're getting into comedy, and as they should. We do a lot of Live Nation dates around the country, and Brad's is one of the first specials on Veep. Very funny, and even his older specials, he's got a lot of stuff that people that have been very well received throughout the years. Please welcome Brad Williams. So you don't drink coffee at all?
Not at all.
Really?
You can make the stunt your growth joke if you want. It's fine. A lot of other people have. But no, I don't drink coffee at all. My wife is one of those people where if she wakes up, she's the do not talk to me.
Yeah.
She woke up this morning at about 4:30 in the morning, went downstairs, did a bunch of stuff before I got up, and she had had 2 coffees by the time I got down there. She was delightful. It was amazing. I got downstairs. I'm like, I want to wake up to this woman every day. She had my breakfast ready. She was smiling.
Amazing.
Oh,
How
it
does
was
she do
awesome.
her coffee? She have her own thing?
Yeah, she's got the whole setup. I don't know.
You never messed with it?
No, I'm a easy drunk. You know, my nickname is 2 Beer Brad,
Right.
and that's very accurate.
Yeah.
2 beers and I'm not driving. Absolutely not. And it's the same way with coffee. If I have a coffee, well, the ceilings are getting polished that day.
Diet Coke?
I don't really drink soda that much, too. I drink tea.
You're very healthy.
Dwarfism. I'm still not healthy. Like I'm
Well, you've got the built-in thing.
Yeah, I'm sure this
but
is
your
doing a lot of
habits
stuff.
are healthy.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
We
your
all
vice?
are.
What's your thing?
Sweets.
Sweets.
I love desserts.
We were talking about this with my daughters the other night.
Yeah.
And my wife is big time sugar.
Yeah.
Big time sugar.
Red velvet cake. I'm all over that.
Oh.
I will wreck. When I walk by the Cheesecake Factory, because we're always on the road and that's where you eat, because it's everywhere.
It's a good place.
They have the case. And they're just showing all the cakes and all. When I pass that red velvet cheesecake, to me it's like that's when. All right, like if you ever go to a friend's house and they've got the garage, and they've got like the Playboy poster up in the garage, and you're supposed to act like you're not staring at the Playboy poster,
Yeah.
but you are staring at. That's me in that red velvet cheesecake, where I'm just like, you mother. Oh, I'll do horrible things to that cheesecake.
I have never had that.
Oh, it's everything.
Isn't that crazy that you could have an addiction and I've never even come across it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you eat sugar though, right? Or are you one of the
I
no
eat
sugar people?
No, I don't have like a real crazy sweet tooth.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. We were talking about during the holidays, like I'm really into like cookies are my baked good of like choice.
It's pretty good.
And like I'll go forever not eating anything.
Yeah.
And then like at Christmas, my girls make the Christmas cookies.
Yeah.
And you have one, and then you have 2, and then you can't stop. Then it's like the sugar wants more sugar.
Yes.
And you just keep going.
Yes.
But then once I'm out of it, I'm out of it.
That's good that you're able to stop. I feel I'm there too. Where if like I can say like, hey, you went nuts.
Yeah.
You had a butter cake last week, so maybe this week cool it a little bit, or take a walk or do some time on the rowing machine, and then you can have a cookie.
I could tell what my wife is big time sugar.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, dial it in.
Yeah.
And then she starts going back, and then it just hits a max load.
Oh.
Where she's just a little down, a little moody, a little something, and I'm like, what's up with her today?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. It's the sugar.
Mm.
And then you realize, oh, we've been on a run. You've had a week
Yes.
of thing.
It's the come down after the Coke weekend.
When we first started living with each other,
Yeah.
We got Easter candy from our family.
Yeah.
And, we were adults, but they still like gave us this chocolate bunny and this kind of thing. And my wife was getting, like, a week later, was like pretty moody.
Yeah.
Pretty like, what's up with her? And I came into the kitchen and I saw her scraping shards of Easter bunny into a bowl of peanut butter.
Oh, wow.
First thing in the morning.
Oh,
like, in her pajamas. And I'm
Okay.
like, all right, give me the bunny.
Yeah.
Go sit on the couch.
That's like that's like the sugar version of your, like, no, there's still some weed in this bowl. Like you smoked the bowl 3 times. There's still some good stuff in here. And like you're just packing whatever you can. Now, if someone ever sits down from you or you meet someone and they say, "Oh, I have no vices," do you trust that person? Because I don't.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But there's a wrinkle to it.
Okay.
In that they may not be aware of a different vice.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like they may be like, no, man, I'm cool. Like I don't have sugar and I don't really eat chips and I'm not really that kind of a person.
I mean, I watch porn 8 hours a day, but that's not a vice. Everybody does that.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And it really is kind of a human nature thing when you every once in a while, I don't know how you get your head there.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, you got to kind of take stock.
Yes.
And be like, all right, what am I really up to?
Yes.
We're all flawed.
Yeah.
You always have something going on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be something really even like
no, it's
that
not
devilish.
like it's not nefarious, but it's just
But
there's
something at play.
There's always that.
Always.
When the new iPhone updated and started telling you your weekly report. Do you have this
screen time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have this engaged on your phone?
I do.
Yeah,
I'm really good at ignoring it.
That's a sobering moment.
It's so weird. It's the weirdest. It's the only thing on my phone I don't spend time on.
Yes. Everything else, there's always that like, ooh, I get a text notification on Sunday or whatever it is, and I go, oh, well, I should get better at that. Ignore, and then
you're
go
like,
right to it.
You're like, oh, I'm down 20% this week. Good for me. Yeah. From 8 hours to 6 hours.
Yeah.
Are you a look at the phone as soon as you wake up guy?
Yeah, because I want to like know it's always check Twitter, check Instagram, see what's going on in the news. Because I'm obsessed with the pop culture stuff because I feel like it's my job. So I have to know what's going on. And I saw this one time where I always want to be aware of what's going on in the news because like there's a comedian who's a mutual friend of ours who I guess he didn't check Twitter and there was like a horrific mass shooting. And then while that's going on, you see his tweet of like, hey, everybody, these are my shows coming up. Come see me and part of one of his cities was the city.
Oh, no.
And he's like, I'm coming to, Sandy Hook or whatever the heck. And it's like, no. I like text him like, delete that tweet right now. Like, so, yeah.
That's brutal.
I always want to be kind of just aware. Like,
enough.
Like, you know how you take the temperature of the room? Like, take the temperature of the country.
Yeah.
Or
know,
Twitter of the moment.
I mean, I go through periods, especially when my kids were little. We didn't have like the news on.
Yeah.
We didn't have like the CNN constant drumbeat of bad news.
Right.
And it was good. It was healthy for us.
Yeah, you're like, well, I got to get my bad news somewhere. Oh, hey, Twitter.
Well, that's the thing. It was like, and then I'm like, I'm not going to engage. I don't need to be updated all the time. But there is a thing of feeling a little out of the loop when you do that.
Yeah, I just want to know what's going on. My wife does not, and then
she doesn't at all.
No, she's not. She's not even on it.
Not even on it.
Yeah.
So is she just happier?
Yeah.
She is. She's less. The world is coming to an end.
Yeah, she'll come to me like 2 weeks after something happened, and she'll be like, "Did you know?" And I'll be like, "Yes, I've gone through the 9 stages of grief." Wow, all already. Remember last Thursday when I was in a really bad? That was that. That's why she's like,
so you don't come in with the reports, and
I've tried, and then because part of me I want to converse with my wife, and then part of me I want to run bits. Like I want to hey, is this a thing I can find a joke about? And then it's sometimes she lets me go, and then sometimes it's just like, no, let's get the kid to school. Like that's the most important thing.
It is hard to when you're in a relationship to be synced up of how much you're gonna be in or out of the news. Like I'll be on the downside of no, I'm just not engaging. I'm not looking. I'm going to give myself a mental break. Yeah. And then my wife walks into my office. Did you hear?
You're like, oh no.
Wolf Blitzer is back.
Yeah. And the thing is it's never good. It's never
no.
Did you hear? All the debt's been paid off.
Yeah.
We're good.
There's peace on earth.
Oh my God. You know that thing that's going on in the Middle East? They're like, what are we doing? And we just hashed it out. That's never going to be the answer.
No.
Did you hear what happened with so-and-so? They donated a ton of money to charity. It's never that.
But there has to be a way that future generations will learn to manage this, because we're the first generations that are being inundated with horrible news 24 hours a day.
All the time.
It's no other generation had to.
No.
You got your news in a little bursts.
It was 5 o'clock. You turned on the news. You're like, wow, that's bad. Or maybe in the newspaper in the morning.
Yeah. And as a kid living in that house, you didn't have to. You just walked through and Dad's watching that, and then you walk to the other room.
Yeah.
We had decades of not knowing anything.
Yeah.
Which was healthy.
Very
which
good.
Was good.
Very good.
So how do you think people are going to figure out a way to manage it?
I think I think the needle is gonna the pendulum overcorrects. We were born without this thing.
Yeah.
We got this thing.
Yeah.
And now we're like, this thing. But even though we recognize it's bad.
Yeah.
But the next generation, our kids, they will have known from day one, oh, this is a bad thing. Mm-hmm. This is bad. So hopefully they look at it from day one the same way, other things are taught as being bad. In school, hopefully they're saying, "Hey, don't spend so much time on the phone. It's
I know,
it's unhealthy for you."
I hope I have 18 and 21-year-olds.
Okay.
And I was talking to the 18 the other day, and I said, "I know you don't have any New Year's resolutions, but I would say one should be less phone time."
Yeah.
For all of us.
Yeah.
Because we're never aware of how much we're really on it. It could always be less is probably better for whatever level you're at.
Yeah.
And she got real defensive and was like, "I'm only on it for this and I'm only on it for that." And I was like, and she was protesting so much that I was like, yeah.
This looks like I'm right.
My point being, she's very aware of what it does and the toxicity of it. Mm-hmm. But you're still on TikTok. That thing is still drawing you in with makeup videos and dog videos and other things, and then the other stuff seeps around it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I guess my point is I don't know if even being aware of it, even the next generation, if we're ever going to be stronger than it.
Yeah. So I'm one of the last comedians. I'm not on it. I'm not on TikTok. I don't have a profile.
You don't.
If you see a clip from me, it's not from me.
Right.
It's somebody else, which is great. Advertise my shit, fine. But when people will do this thing where I go, "Oh, I'm not on TikTok," and they'll respond like, "Oh my God, you have to get on TikTok," and I'm like, why? And they go, "Well, man, I open up my phone, I open up TikTok, and then all of a sudden I look up and 3 hours has just gone by." I'm like, that's a horrible way to describe this.
What kind of ad is that?
Yeah, this is not an advertisement that makes me want to do this.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I've never done cocaine. I'm worried I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
And
100%.
And then I'll not, and now I'm a cocaine guy, or now I'm a TikTok guy.
I know. I know a lot of people get their news from TikTok.
Yeah. And to me, that sounds bad just because it's like, oh, news organizations with journalists and libel laws and all that. fuck them. We're going to Fred.
Yeah.
Fred knows what's up.
Yeah.
Fred, he's tuned in. He
then it just
knows
starts
what's
to
really
trend.
happening. And people are making blanket statements about certain things, and you just have to accept it as truth, because you'll be watching a TikTok video and say like, well, we all know chocolate kills you, and you're like, wait, what? Like, we do?
Yeah.
I missed that announcement.
Yeah.
I'm using that because it's a kind of a neutral announcement, you know. But
no, it's funny. Like with my daughter's generation, they all of a sudden all got spooked by tsunamis at the same time, and then they all got spooked by restless leg at the same time.
Oh.
And then they all got spooked because it was trending.
And now they're all spooked by Stanley Cups. Stanley Cups. Oh my God, people are going to war.
Oh, I felt so good about it. I knew more about the Stanley Cups thing than my daughters did.
Oh, I felt so old because everyone just kept saying Stanley Cup. I'm like, hey, we're finally getting into hockey. All right, we're all doing it. Hey, how about those Oilers? You know, and everyone's like, no, the Stanley Cup. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Well,
nope.
This is why you should be
Cup.
on TikTok, because you never know what's going to pop and how something's going to explode.
You never know.
And you become really popular.
A cup. A freaking cup.
Yeah.
No, it's.
You heard the origin story of it, right?
Oh, I don't know the origin story. I know I don't even.
Smoldering car? You don't know the smoldering car?
I know the origin story of Batman. That's about it. I don't know the origin story.
There was a car, and it was on fire.
Okay.
And the girl recorded it. Her car just melted and smoldered.
Yeah.
And the only thing that survived in the cup holder was the Stanley Cup. And the ice inside of it had not melted.
Oh, wow.
So it was this great story.
Everyone's like,
Everyone
man.
got into it and became popular.
Everyone's like, I'm probably going to be in a smoldering car. And at that point, I might want a cold beverage.
Right.
If I come in and I see my car is decimated.
If I'm dying in an inferno, I want my last sip.
Yeah, I want a frosty beverage. Go Stanley Cup. Now I've seen that story where the Alaska Airlines flight where the door flew off.
The Boeing 737 MAX 9.
Yes, and now
I say it over and over again, Brad, because when you're booking your flights, look at the details
Boeing,
and don't get on the Boeing 737 MAX 9.
All right,
book another flight.
I'm flying to New York on Sunday.
Hopefully it's not on that.
But then apparently some iPhone was sucked out, and then they found the iPhone.
No.
Still working.
Really?
Fell from 30,000 feet or whatever it was. Still working. By the way, screen not cracked. What the fuck are we doing to our screens, Tom? You know, I jump out of my car. I say jump because I have an SUV, so I have to jump out of my car.
Right.
And I jump out of my car, and my iPhone screen is cracked. This thing falls from half a mile.
Amazing.
It's good.
Probably
Fine.
landed in a bird's nest.
Yeah.
Only if it could have been recording.
Oh my
That
God.
would have been sweet.
Yeah, it's like that one video where some dog got a GoPro and just started running around with it.
Yeah.
It's great. I'll watch that video. That video puts me to sleep. That's a happy video.
So you're not on TikTok, but Instagram.
Obsessed with Instagram. Obsessed with Twitter.
Yeah.
Not so much Facebook, but
I haven't seen a Twitter feed in 6 years.
Good for you. So you're probably happier.
That's my TikTok for you.
Oh,
This is back
okay.
to what we were saying about they don't have an addiction. And
Yeah.
You're like, I'm not into Twitter, but Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. Do you ever try to fool your own algorithm? Because
What do you mean?
because when you
Oh,
go
yeah. To like something?
Yeah, because when you
Mhm.
go to the search pages, most of mine are interviews with pro wrestlers, pro athletes, sports clips,
Yeah.
and a bunch of tits. Just a mountain of tits. And sometimes I look at the screen, I'm like, that's too much tit. And then I try to fool it.
If my
like,
wife picks up this phone, I gotta put some.
yeah. So I'm like, let's search Neil deGrasse Tyson and just let's search other
It's
great
true.
thinkers of our time.
It works quickly.
Yeah, and then it goes, oh, you like Malcolm Gladwell? Here's 20,000 Malcolm Gladwell videos. You hear that phone? Malcolm Gladwell.
And then no tits.
No tits. Oh, crap, I said tits. But yeah, that's gonna be So sometimes I try to fool my algorithm.
Yeah, I do that too. Or if you ever, this happens on YouTube also.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever hate click on something, something
do
you
that.
don't like,
Don't
and
do
then
that.
they start feeding you it,
Yeah.
a comedian or a
Yeah.
rock star, something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they think you're into whatever.
I like
it
that your
is.
first hate click was a comedian.
Yeah, some horrible comic. You're like, what is he doing?
Of course, we're just watching some successful, richer than us comic going, what the hell? What do they got that I
What's
don't
this
got?
guy doing?
Yeah.
Ugh, why are people listening to this?
Yeah, that's that's a lot. That's a lot of my hate clicks too.
Are
And
you getting good response off of your special?
yeah, so far so good.
Nice.
The new special is Starfish. It's streaming on Veeps, Veeps, which for a lot of people is a brand new thing. You don't have to subscribe. That's the thing. People go like, oh, I don't want to subscribe. I'm already
Unknown
on
password.
Paramount Plus and Peacock. I wasn't on Peacock, but an NFL playoff game is on there, so crap. Now I'm on Peacock.
Yeah.
So you don't have to subscribe. You go there. There's a bunch of concerts by really cool bands like.
Because this was Live Nation's
Yeah. So
new streaming service.
Yeah,
And they
so-
started with music,
yeah, so it's like.
and now they have comedy.
Yeah, so they got like Alicia Keys and Imagine Dragons and like Billy Idol. Like there's some really great concerts. I've watched a couple of them.
Yeah.
And now they're starting to do comedy specials. So they got
great.
like me, David Cross, Catherine Ryan, Reggie Watts.
Nice.
So it's a good lineup, and the people that have watched it like it. One thing that is cool about this is as you watch it, there's like a forever chat going on. From people that have watched it, so you can go back and see what people have said, good or bad.
Oh, really?
That might be.
Is that an option or that just comes up?
I don't know if that's an option. When I watched it, I did a watch along.
Okay.
So I had people watching with me.
Whoa.
Which was very fun.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was very
Was
fun.
it nerve-wracking going into it?
Very nerve-wracking because I'm like,
Yeah.
my Q rating isn't 100%.
Yeah.
There might be someone that goes like, oh, Brad's going to be on this
Ooh.
chat. This is finally my time to tell him to fuck off and stop doing dwarf jokes, hack. I get it. So I was a little nervous about it.
I don't think that doing dwarf jokes could ever be hack until there's an army of dwarf comics.
That's the thing.
It's like
It's
your turf.
Whenever I hear people say that, and it's probably the number one criticism of me.
Oh, please.
Which is like you talk about being a dwarf and that's your act. It's like,
Yeah.
well, it's not the full thing, but yeah, I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
No one else
course.
is doing it. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
I know when you go on Netflix every week, it's another dwarf comedian.
Oh, there's just so many dwarf comedians.
So many.
I get it. You're small.
Yeah, there's three. Okay, there's me, there's Tanya Lee Davis, and there's Nick Novicki. And I'm sure one is mad at me right now. But there's
that's
others coming up.
ridiculous.
But there's three. Okay, we're allowed to have three.
You can do it to the day you die.
That and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what life is like as a 6'2" man.
Right.
I don't know how to write jokes from that perspective.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever walked into a room and just had nobody notice you?
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like John Panette.
Yeah.
Are you supposed to not talk about eating at a buffet?
Yes.
Is that hacky?
That's what he did.
That's ridiculous.
Now, are all my jokes about that? Absolutely not. I have the joke I'm the most proud of in this Veep special. It's called Starfish. Is a joke I did about the Bud Light controversy, and I'm most proud of that because A, nothing to do with dwarfism, and then B, man, did I have to fine tune that bit.
Yeah, tricky.
Man, did I. There was, and this is why they say don't record during the shows. When I was figuring that bit out, there were some clips of me trial and error that I don't want other people to see.
Of course.
There is one line I even had that I said it, and the laugh I got, it was a laugh. It was a strong laugh. Wasn't the laugh I wanted.
For the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a joke?
Oh, yeah.
Where like you say something, you're just like, oh, that's tapping into something I don't want to tap into.
Exactly. You're like, they're laughing for the wrong reason. It's amazing that you can hear it.
Yeah.
Like you literally can hear the there's like a what's the right word? There's a
for me
purpose or like
Yeah.
a nastiness to it.
For me,
it's
there
not
was
just a joyful laugh.
Yes, for me, when I said it, and the audience laughed, the laugh came with a tinge, a dusting,
Yeah.
a salt bay of anger and
Right.
and just a
Vitriol.
finally, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be that dude. So
Yeah.
I try. I want people to watch my show and at the end of it go, I don't know how he votes.
Right.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
And I have no idea how he leans.
I
and
know.
that's fine because I don't know how I lean.
Right.
You give me an issue, I might lean a certain way, or another issue, I lean a different way.
I had a joke about the president,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so interesting. I never really do jokes about politics or
Same.
politicians.
Yeah.
But it was in the moment. It was just kind of related to something else.
Yeah.
And I would say something about Biden, and I'd get the laugh
Yeah.
sometimes that you didn't want to get. And
Yep.
they were like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah. You're like, it's time.
And then
You're like,
the
"No."
next line is a compliment to him for doing the best he can and getting
Yeah.
us out of the trouble that we were in.
Yeah.
And then those guys are like, what? And then the other side starts laughing with intent. And it became this, it was kind of fun to do, just to see those reactions.
And just see it switch.
And kind of
you
where
see it
you
switch
are.
over.
Yeah.
Like,
it was
like people go, he's our guy. He's not our guy. He
Yeah.
is our guy. Like in the course
Yeah.
of 2 minutes.
yeah. They were like, oh, finally.
Yeah.
So I ended up just dropping it because of timeliness, but also, truth be told, because it was like, ugh, I don't like either of these reactions, really.
Yeah. I try to just go by what's funny, and,
Yeah.
and that's I think if you watch the new special and you see the Bud Light bit, you'll see it, you'll laugh at it, and my goal is that hopefully, no matter what side of whatever that you're on,
Yeah.
you go, yeah, he's our guy,
Right.
like on both sides.
yeah.
That's the absolute goal where
Yeah,
you
totally.
you have no idea, and no matter what, you just have fun with
And
it.
your material, whatever side they're on,
Yeah.
which, by the way, should not be the thing that identifies
No.
us and the audience at all.
No.
It's not. They usually, it wasn't forever. You don't lead with
No.
your party. You
No.
lead with where you live, what you are,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Get started on your resolutions with Factor. So you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, the prep work, and the cooking fatigue with over 35 meals to choose from per week, including options like keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. Plus, over 55 weekly add-ons. You'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolution. So, like, if you're like Joey and you're living by yourself, or you're just a guy who has a lot going on, you're worried about other things, and maybe meal prep is just too much, and then what do? You just order on one of the apps, or you just slide through one of the fast food places, and you get something that's not that great for you. It's not a good way to start the year. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to have energy, and you're going to be stressed, and then you're going to feel guilty after you eat that garbage. Well, these folks over at Factor will send you all the things that you need, plus snack options like breakfast smoothies, snacks, more to keep you going no matter what's on your schedule. Skip the overpriced takeout trap. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door. They're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. Joey, it's almost like they created the service for you. Stress less over meal times in the new year. Factor's no prep, no mess. Meals free up time otherwise spent shopping, cooking, and cleaning. No more wasting time in the kitchen. Not only does Factor offer fast, simple solutions when you're too busy to cook, they also help you stay on top of your goals with offerings like Protein Plus and Keto. You can stay on track. This is definitely going to come in handy for your New Year's goals. Factor has everything you need for flavorful, nutritious eats. How do you get it? Go to factormeals.com/papa50. That's factormeals.com. Check them out, fall in love, and then put in the code PAPA50 and get 50% off. That's code PAPA50 at factormeals.com/papa. Look, I'm all about cooking and creating, and like I do these meatballs on a Monday, and it's very impressive. Not doing that every night. When you have those nights where you just need something easy, factormeals.com. Put in the code PAPA50, get 50% off. When you talk about being married and your wife is
Chinese,
part Chinese, or, or you say half Chinese and you're half, right?
Yes.
She's half Chinese
yeah.
And I'm half.
Yeah.
It's a great joke.
Thank you.
And but talk to me, because when you talk about Chinese food, do you know more about what really good Chinese food is than I do now?
I don't know your level.
I was your level before you got married, I would say.
Yes, my level being like Panda Express, good stuff, right? That's their
General
sponsor.
Chow's Chicken.
Yeah. Yes, I have a little bit more, so much so that I went to Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the haven of Chinese food. No, but I took a great comic named Tom Tran, and he has a lot of family out there, and they were all taking me out to some authentic food, and I knew a lot of it, and I had it already, so I was very proud of myself.
Nice.
And,
like what can you?
Okay, so the main one, and I talk about this in the special, this is my favorite thing in the world, and I'll probably pronounce it wrong, so I apologize in advance.
Okay.
Xiaolin Bao, which is a dumpling that is filled with hot soup.
Ooh.
And it is so goddamn good.
Really?
This is the best thing. When
you pop it, does all the soup come out?
So there's two ways. You can just eat the whole thing, and just have that flavor explosion, or what you can do, and I do this sometimes, poke a little hole in it, and then you suck out the soup, and then you eat the dumpling.
I hope that you were taught this, and this wasn't just your white guy attempt at
No, I was taught this.
What is he doing?
Yeah. I'm not supposed to do that. Yeah, it's like the movie K-Pax, where he starts eating the banana in the peel. Yeah, reference Kevin Spacey. That'll get you good on the Q rating, Brad. Anyway, moving on. But yes, so I probably have a little bit more, but some of the stuff I don't remember the name of, but I can see a picture of it and go, that's good.
Right.
Like, so have you had savory pancakes? Like, but they're not like buttermilk pancakes. They're like chive, very thin pancakes.
Ooh.
Soak them in like oyster sauce. Fuck out of here, Tom. It's so good.
Does your wife cook it?
She cooks everything. But
does.
It's funny. She doesn't really go too much. She doesn't cook too much Chinese food, but we just know the good spots to go, or she knows the good spots to go. General rule of thumb, and I think this is for every sort of ethnicity, every culture type of food, you have to see people of that culture eating there.
Right.
And hopefully you're cooking it in the back. But with
every culture.
Yeah, you just want to see, like, if I'm going to get Ethiopian food, I don't want Chad. I want the guy from Chad. So I want that guy there eating the food. So that's just the general rule of thumb. But man, like in the last few years, I've been married 6 years, known my wife for 8. Right. Yeah,
How'd
really on an app. That's we met on an app that's designed for people trying to have 3-ways.
What?
And we got our clip, everybody. Yeah.
It's an app just for 3-ways.
It's an app for alternative lifestyle type relationships.
So is that mostly couples looking for a third, or 3 individuals looking to just randomly all the above?
Yeah.
Anything you can think of, Tom.
Yeah, whatever you got that they got. I was I was on there because at the time I was doing a radio show, and we were doing a bit because I didn't know anyone in the city of San Francisco, and where I was doing the radio show. So we were doing a bit where I would go on dating apps to find friends, which now is a thing.
Oh.
People go on. There's Bumble has like a friend mode where it's like, I just want to go on a coffee date with someone and talk sports. Bumble, like they got that now. But I was way ahead of this curve. So I was on there just trying to. We were doing this bit, and a listener called in and said, you should try this app. Now the app is called Field, F-E-E-L-D, and my wife was on there because, as she described, a guy just broke her heart and she was getting some revenge. And I'm like,
oh wow,
great, good for you. I was revenge.
You were the revenge.
Yeah, revenge, everybody. This is what revenge looks like. So yeah, that's why we were on there, and then we matched. And I don't know, you'll probably be obligated to say this because no doubt your wife watches every one of these.
Yes, she does.
But we both, on the very first date, we both had the same feeling, which was, oh crap, we were on this date for a good time, and now this is something.
Chemistry.
Yeah,
right away.
Damn it! Like, and we were both literally upset about it because we're like, this is no. Like, it's almost one of those scenes where, like, you see the Grim Reaper coming from someone. They're like, it's not my time yet. Like, that's what we were both having the same feeling of, like, I thought I had a few more years of being single and out there and doing my thing, and then nope.
It's kind of her ultimate revenge, though, isn't it?
I always thought to myself, just imagine, like, I'm a revenge lay.
Yeah.
That's. How bad was that guy? How bad was that previous dude?
I think it's great.
In bed.
I think it's great because usually the revenge is just all inhibitions out the window.
Yeah.
You're going for what you just total freedom.
Yeah.
Let's
exactly.
just go for a blast. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, because for a while I had a little bit of the Good Luck Chuck syndrome. Reference the cinematic classic where women would be with me, and then the next dude would be the
married,
husband.
right.
Yeah, I had an impressive list, like over 10 of women that were just like, yeah, you, and then the next guy, boom. So I was like the last get out of Wild, and then and then they settled down. So that's what I figured would happen in this case. And
did you have any interactions on that app before your wife?
No.
That was the first one?
First one.
Oh.
And she tells me that I was the first one of hers as well.
Yeah, that's what she tells you.
I don't know. I don't care. It's fine.
And that's still an app that people still...
Yeah. Dude, there's people... I don't know if you do meet and greets at the shows.
Yeah, I sign my books at the end of the show.
Yeah. Oh, you get it. Your book. I get it. You're very successful, Tom.
Well, I write a lot.
I get people coming up, like 3 people will come up, and I'll be like, oh, who's the third wheel on the date? They go, none of us. We're a throuple. I'm just like, that's a thing.
Yeah.
That's a thing. And then there's even a term for 4. It's called a quad.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what?
These kids.
It might be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, and I know this is general,
Oh,
but
you're gonna
I think I'm right.
You're going to piss off the throuple community. And
It's a thing, but it's not for long.
So you don't see it as a Hugh Hefner, you have a harem?
I don't think it's a lot of happy endings.
I mean, it might be.
Of the traditional sense.
Yes, it's happy endings, but not the happy ending.
I just don't. People are complicated.
Yeah.
And
it's hard enough with one.
Yeah, envy and all these things, and you start to age and all this kind of stuff. And
yeah.
I mean, God bless you if you can pull it off and it's what you're into. But I would say the numbers or the odds are probably against.
Yes.
Don't you think?
I would think, or else we'd all be doing it. It's
great point. It wouldn't be an oddity.
Yeah, it's that thing of like. Now, don't get me wrong. We, my wife and I like watching cult documentaries, and it seems like every cult documentary, the leader has this thought of like, hey, me and all of you, but all serving me.
When you watch these cult documentaries, don't you come away every time thinking, how easy is it to start a cult?
Every time.
Right?
every time I go, oh,
It's not that
That's-
hard.
that and when the people doing it are like bat shit insane, you're like, and you pulled it off?
Yeah.
What? There's so many times where I go, damn my morals. Like, oh my God. I watch every gangster movie and I'm like, I could do that if not for the stupid guilt.
Yeah.
You know?
I always translate it back to stand up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, they got all these people. Like, why can't I do that with my? How do I do it with my fans?
Yeah.
Like, whenever I hear like they cheated millions of dollars out of people, it's like, what mailing list did they develop?
And how can I develop that
Yeah,
list?
how can I sell out arenas?
I talk to hundreds, sometimes thousands of people in a weekend. Like, why don't we just tell everyone to give me $10
yeah, right.
on top of the money they already gave me to be there? And then all of a sudden,
it's fascinating.
you
though.
know, and
What is it in the people that makes them amenable to it, or like show up to this guy Don?
Yeah.
Who like
One of the things I've noticed about watching all the cult documentaries is that no leader of the cult says, I might be wrong.
certainty,
Right.
right?
It's absolute certainty. It is, I got the answer.
right.
This is the way. There's no way I'm wrong. I've done the research.
Right.
I'm correct. And someone goes, but this thing happened and that doesn't line up with your... Don't care. I'm right.
I'm the one.
Yes. That's one thing I see
Yeah.
in every cult leader is the absolute certainty that they are correct. And that is one of the reasons I am not a cult leader.
I know, me
Because
Yeah.
almost everything I say, I go,
Maybe.
dude, young comics will ask me for advice.
Yeah.
And because now I'm the guy that's been in it long enough that they look
How long is it?
20
Nice.
20 years, so they go like, oh, you've been at 20 years, you're successful, whatever. What's some advice? And I always do the same thing. I always tell them my advice, and then at the end of it I go, but I would have told Stephen Wright to hurry it the fuck up. So what do I know?
Yeah.
I would have told Mitch Hedberg, be more autobiographical. Like, I would have said that.
Yeah.
So,
But if you were the cult leader,
oh no,
even despite Steven's success,
yes,
you would still think he did fine, but he would have been a
But he
little
w-
bit
yeah,
better
but
if
he
he had
would-
listened to me.
but he would have been better. He did okay. He's a legend, but did he ever play Madison Square Garden? He would have
Yeah.
if he would have just listened to me. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm not a cult. I mean, I have many reasons I'm not a cult leader, but I think the main one is that I know I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I read something and go,
Yeah.
and then I go out and tell people, yeah, and then I get all the messages that go, no, and oh, damn it, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's the I have that sometimes. It's the last person you spoke to syndrome. It's like, this is the guy we have to vote for. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
1,000%.
And then you walk over and, no, this is the guy we got. Oh, yeah, great point.
1,000%.
But
is me.
that also means
Mm-hmm.
that you're open. You have an open mind.
Yeah.
And that's why you're creative also.
Because I see, I always wonder. My dad would say this all the time, and I think it's a good piece of advice for the world, and that is, remember that your normal is not someone else's normal.
Mm-hmm.
And so when someone comes at you and they got an opinion that's different than yours, they didn't arrive at that opinion specifically to be malicious towards you.
Mm-hmm.
They arrived at it through culture, through parents, through friends, through media influences, through various other things that got them to that point.
Yeah.
So responding by, well, fuck you, you're an idiot. No, and my wife has this great phrase that she learned from her uncle, which is, an asshole never thanks you for calling them an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that too, because
great.
you've never been like, hey, you fucking moron, and the other person goes, you're right.
You got a point. Unless they say it's us.
Yeah. In which case I'll just be like, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably.
I see what you're saying.
So so it's like I always try to, no matter what perspective you got,
Yeah.
I try to go like, okay, now why is that?
Mm-hmm.
And why did you get there? And it's like I try to watch Marvel movies and go, okay, why is the villain doing this? And with Thanos or whatever, the snap and get half the pot. I'm like, I get it. I get it. Not saying I would do it.
Yeah.
Just saying I get it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm driving around this city going, this would be a whole lot better if like 6 million people moved away.
Yeah, they never think they're doing a bad thing. They're
No.
always doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
that. So I always try to think like, okay, why do they have this?
Yeah.
And I try to write when I'm writing jokes. I try to think, okay,
Uh-huh.
someone who disagrees with this,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
And then I try to answer
Oh, that's
that
interesting.
in the joke.
Right, right.
So I think the greatest example of that personally was the Jim Jeffries gun bit, because the Jim Jeffries gun bit was just like he went through every thing
Yeah.
and said, okay, I know certain people disagree with me. You're saying this right now.
Right.
Well, and then he would answer that. Now, is it completely infallible? Probably not. But
Yeah.
he did a good job. At
Yeah,
that.
right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, you say the thing that they're going to put up as the opposition.
Yeah.
Did you get along with your dad?
Immensely.
Yeah. Is he still around?
He is not. We lost him 2 years ago.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But here's one thing I say to when people go like, "Oh, that really stinks." I go, "Yeah, it does. It hurts." Two things though. One, if someone close to you passes away and you feel pain, that is a reminder that person was good and how lucky you were to have them in your life, and what a positive what a positive influence they had on you. If my dad passed away and I feel nothing,
Yeah.
oh, that's
What
a
was
bad.
wrong there?
Yeah, that's a bad childhood.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky, and also very lucky in that my dad saw both of his kids get married, both of his kids have kids, both of his
Nice.
kids buy homes. My sister is a partner in a very large accounting firm.
Wow.
She's doing all right.
Yeah.
You saw his son have multiple comedy specials.
Yeah.
No matter how good this new special is, Starfish, that you can now get on Veeps, the special Daddy Issues to me will always be my favorite.
Uh-huh.
That was my second one,
Right.
and the reason why is because on stage he was in the audience.
Uh-huh.
I got to tell him
Wow.
everything,
Yeah.
and there is a moment where I'm doing the bit in the end about him getting skin cancer and then beating skin cancer,
Right.
where it didn't look like he was, and I knew my dad was in the audience, and I kept saying, "Don't look at him, do not look at him." But then I looked at him,
Uh-huh.
and I started crying, and then I stopped my act, and I just started talking to him and essentially telling him all the things I wanted to tell him.
Oh man.
And I'm so glad I had that moment.
Wow.
I'm thankful. I can't watch it again.
Did you keep that part in?
Yeah, that part's in there. And then the
And you weren't
cameraman
planning that.
No.
It just came out.
just came out.
Whoa.
And that special is streaming on Amazon Prime if you want to watch that.
Through it. How were you able to?
And we only had one take. This wasn't
Yeah.
a 2-show night,
Right.
because this was back before. Now I could sell some tickets, and for the special Starfish on Veeps, we had 2 shows where we could mix and match.
Sure.
But this was like we had one shot. I barely got this theater full.
Whoa.
So it was
Yeah,
like,
of course.
but to me that moment was way more important than anything I could do in a special. Because
Man, it's so crazy because you plan for your special and you have all your jokes and you know the roadmap, and by the time you're shooting, it's pretty locked in and you know what's up.
yeah.
And then to surprise even yourself and have something else enter the room.
Always something else. And the cameraman, I wish I knew his or her name, but they got a shot of him like raising a fist in the air going like, yeah.
Whoa.
And I'm just like, that's it. That's it. That's it.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? And
how did you get through it? I'm trying not to cry right now.
yeah, it's kind of hard for me right now. But yeah, it's one of those things where I just kept. It's sobering. Like, you have that moment, and it's definitely, you could see that I'm welling up.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, there's 1,200 people in a room and a jib where I go, okay,
Right.
job,
Yeah.
do the job. Yeah, it
In a
was
way,
tough.
it's like, in a way, do you think it would have been more difficult to just say that across the kitchen table?
Way more difficult.
Right.
Because I know who my dad was, and he was one of those old school dads would be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, right.
Like,
enough,
yeah. Like,
don't make me cry.
yeah, like I remember the last time I said I love you to him. I said I love you, and this was when he was sick, and I said I love you, and he goes, right back at you, pal. Like, he can't say the words back.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame him. I'm not bitter, but like it's just like that's who he was. So I need a stage to where I can just say it.
Yeah.
And he has to listen.
Yes.
So that's why it had to happen there, and it had to happen that way.
Right.
Yeah. So if you watch that special, that speech is improvised.
That's amazing.
And it's completely in the moment.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So did your daughter is now 5?
She'll be turning 4 as of this recording in a week and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4.
Mm-hmm.
So he passed when she was 2.
Yep.
Did it have a shift for you, or you probably had it already kind of locked in? But
in terms of what
you being a dad?
Oh, I already I always wanted to be a dad. I think I thought I'd be good at it.
Yeah.
I had a great father that could work as a roadmap both for what to do, but also a few things that I would change.
Sure.
But I think we're like that with all our parents, no matter how much we love them.
Yeah.
But yes, it was definitely like, I wanted to have a kid, and I was so happy that I have a framed photo of them in the same bed.
Nice.
Sleeping, and it's great. It's great.
Yeah. You like being a dad?
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it because we talk about the phone and the distractions and everything.
Yeah.
Man, nothing makes you realize what's truly important.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I care what Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel are saying about each other? Maybe before I may have.
Yeah.
Now I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I know.
Did it affect my kid?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Fine.
I know.
That's it. Like, that's
yeah.
all I care about is stuff that affects her. I care more about that punk that's in her class that's saying some shit, and their parent is doing the whole kids, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna choke slam your kid. I'm gonna take your kid into a McDonald's play place because I'm still allowed in there, and I'm gonna wreck your kid. If there's ever a school bounce house, I'm hopping in there with your kid. I'm gonna double bounce the fuck out of your little brat. Yeah, I'm more worried about that.
Yeah.
And so it's that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's that living outside yourself. And when I'm on the road, I don't have a reason to get off the phone or stop playing the game or stop watching SportsCenter for the 20th time until the show hits.
Right.
But when I'm home, I have a reason.
Yeah.
I have a reason to put that down.
Yeah.
Get off of that.
It on.
Yeah. And then
Are you doing the dad flights home?
What are the dad flights? Just so I know.
The dad flight is first flight out. Even if you perform late Saturday, you're taking the 6 a.m. out.
I tried. I was doing that anyway.
Yeah.
When I was not a dad, I was always getting the first flight home just because I wanted to get home.
Yeah.
But now I'm realizing that if I do that, especially if I do the 2 shows on Saturday night, and I get literally 2 hours of sleep or less, I'm not dad when I get home.
Right.
I'm so wrecked. I immediately just go up to the room and sleep anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if I take the 10 a.m. or the 11 a.m. or whatever, I get home.
Give yourself a shot.
I can give myself a shot of coming home and being like, cool.
Right.
I can help. I can do stuff. I can be engaged. So that's me personally.
Yeah. It's funny because I was always the dad flight home, and I wouldn't really crash until the next day.
Wow.
I would enter the house and be able to go, but it was the next day that would kind of kill me. But anyway, that was just my routine. I just got into it. I got obsessed with it and just kept doing it. And now that my kids are older and they're at school, it's so funny to be. I still do it.
You still do the dad
I
flight?
still do the dad flight.
Why?
I don't know. The idea of getting up. I don't need to have breakfast here. I'm done. My shows are done. We spent some time together. I don't need an omelet in Baltimore.
It's just I get the most depressing thought for me is when I'm on stage, the second show has not started yet, and I look at my clock and I go, if I went to sleep right now,
Yep.
I still would not get the right amount of sleep.
I know.
For the flight, and I still have to do another show and another meet and greet, and then come down, and then get to the room and then settle up and the whole thing, and it's just like that.
We're all the same.
That thought was so depressing for me that it was just like, give me the noon
Let me
flight.
sleep.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, and it used to be like, well, you want to sleep on the plane. Now it's like I got downloadable apps. I got live TV.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I could be awake on a plane.
When you said games, if you're not putting down the game, what games do you play?
Oh my God. There's a couple.
And are these mobile games or are these?
Yeah, these are just mobile games like Toy Blast. That's a good one. It's a good mind.
Write that down, Joey.
Number.
Toy Blast. We're going on tour this weekend.
One game called like 1010 or something like. It's just it's basically like a version. It's basically Tetris. But yeah, I'm just obsessed. It sucks. It's the you want to talk about sobering thoughts?
Yeah,
is when your kid is like because my dog. I've been on the couch and I've been playing one of these games and then my daughter will like look at my wife and be like, Daddy's busy. I'll be like, but I'm not.
I'm not really.
I'm not.
I'm pretending to work.
I can't tell her that I can't hang out with her because I got to shoot a zombie that doesn't exist. Like, I can't do that. So that that's the moment where I go, okay. And I put the phone down.
Yeah.
And then I go and I play Hot Wheels with my daughter, which is great.
It's amazing.
It's so much better once they become people.
That's how I felt. I felt the same way when I was.
Yeah.
I had the same thing. I was like, this is cute. I mean, you love every stage, of course.
Yeah.
But I knew I was going to hit my sweet spot when we could sit in a diner together.
Oh, and just go over
which
some
happens
stuff.
when they're really little.
Yeah.
Your daughter's age. Like, but just that thing of like being able to sit there, I knew that was going to be hilarious.
Yeah. And just now her face lights up when you say something like, yeah, and we can go get ice cream. And she goes, and you're just like, oh, I want to be around people that faces light up when you say ice cream.
I know.
It's so much better.
I know.
Oh, around
so great.
Around so many other people, you have to come up with a plan for peace and meeting and how are we gonna improve performance in the fourth quarter and then with a kid you're just like ice cream. They're like, you're the best. You're the best. Oh,
it's so sweet.
It's awesome.
Is she going to preschool?
Yeah, she's going preschool.
Is that so? That's is that new?
Yes, relatively. And but what's cool is the preschool is walking distance from my house.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So I can walk her. The problem is that I need to write a joke about this. A safety precaution of the preschool works against me. So they have like a ton of gates where the locks are real high.
Oh no!
So some like because one time my wife was just so tired. I'm like, hey, I'll walk her to school, no problem. I got her. You rest. So I'm walking, and the first gate was open, so I'm like, sweet. And then I get in there, and then that one shut, and then the next one was high, and I'm like,
oh no!
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, this is it's the Star Wars scene where they're in the trash compactor, and I'm just like, oh no! I got kids on one side, kids on the other, just So yeah, I need to call for help or whatever.
It's funny.
But so that's a security system for the kids, but it ends up being
that is a funny joke.
It also keeps Brad out.
Yeah.
I had that the first time with the.
That's so funny. I'm sorry to jump it, but
yeah, no, jump in.
That is kind of funny area for a joke of you going to school and saying, I understand what you want to keep bad people out, and so it's up high, but I can't reach it. And they're like, we know.
Right. Why do you think we installed the locks?
Right.
We saw your special.
Exactly.
We saw the Bud Light bit. You're quite problematic. Crap! They got me. Ah. Yeah, it is a moment like that where stuff like that.
How much of life is obstacles like that?
Oh man. So there's obstacles I even realize, like, okay, the gate thing, that's something that was new.
Yeah.
That's
right. Never thought of before.
Yeah, I'm 40 and I just got to that part where I'm like, oh. But like the things that people don't think about is like, okay, so when you check into a hotel room, the shower, if it's going like up, I'm fucked.
Right.
Because I'm just like, oh man, like the top of my head just I gotta like climb the back wall and just okay, got some. So I've developed like when I don't know how much you've thought like how you're gonna die. I know I'm going to die by climbing up on a bathtub and trying to adjust the shower head to aim down.
Right.
That's how I'm dying. I'm gonna be up there and be reaching. All of a sudden, the maid didn't do the last wipe down. There'll be a little puddle that I didn't see, and then whoa, and then just like Brad Williams found dead in a bathtub.
It happens that often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost all the time. I'm too damn proud to call down to the front desk and be like, "Can you change the shower head?"
Right.
You just because it's so dehumanizing and demasculating when the guy just walks in and goes, "Right? Is that all?" Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, so you take it that you're the king.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. And while you're here.
Because sometimes the front desk will put me in one of the handicap hotel rooms, and they do it because they see me and they're like, let's get in the handicap room.
Yeah, get in the low closet.
Yeah, and then I get really insulted, but then I walk in there and go, this is nice though.
I'll tell you, I have the same thing for some reason. My app for Marriott.
Yeah.
I can't get it changed for some reason. So they think I want the handicap accessible room. Mm-hmm. And at first I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't mind a handle in the shower.
It's nice.
I don't mind having everything kind of low.
It's nice.
To where my thing is, I'm like, this is sweet.
This is pretty great.
Why aren't all the rooms like this?
Yeah, you walk into the shower. There's no ledge that you can trip on.
I know.
None of that.
I know.
It's good. The shower head's adjustable. You can be like, I'm going to wash my ass. Boom.
Yeah,
you know,
all the help we can get.
Oh, and a little bar to hold on to.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we're getting older. Bending over, dropping the soap. I don't know about
Seeing
you.
Clearly.
Oh.
There's at the Comedy Cellar. I don't know when the last time you were there, but at the Village Underground they have there's this pretty precarious little step off the corner of the stage to go down.
Yeah.
And it's dark and it's black steps, and because Keith Robinson had a stroke, they put a little handle there, like almost like a little railing.
Right.
That they literally just so Keith can get off stage easily. Yeah. I think I'm more grateful than he is because with my glasses, I can't see like steps right below.
Right.
It was dark.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to find it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love that.
Sometimes stuff like that happens. Like you want to be mad, but you're like, this makes it so much. It's so convenient.
I know.
It's so great. So great. I'll be there next week. So I will.
Cool.
I will look for the Keith Robinson handle.
Yeah.
And then I will probably use it.
So are you in the gathering up new material thing, or you shot this a bit ago? So you're.
I shot it in July.
Oh, okay.
And then, as you know, once you shoot a special, you're like. Now that's when the work begins.
Yeah.
Because now you're like, because you don't want to tour with stuff that you just saw.
Right.
So it was a bunch of throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah.
Thankfully, a couple of things have stuck. Thank God for the Montgomery, Alabama dogfight video, which I saw on Twitter while being obsessed, and I wrote a nice little chunk about that.
Nice.
Which is
a good one.
Which is going very well.
Very good.
But yes. So it's a new hour. So if you see me on tour, I'm going to like this tour, man. 2024 is gonna be
A lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
20. Buy tickets, see me now. 2025, I'm not going out that much.
I'm taking a break.
I'm looking at it like Jesus Christ, and
Isn't it crazy? Like,
I haven't
Yeah.
even announced the international dates yet.
oh my God, are you gonna do that? That's
yeah, Europe and Australia are coming.
Whoa,
yeah,
nice.
and a few countries in Europe that I've never been to.
cool. Wow.
We're gonna be announcing like Amsterdam and Norway and
Wow,
stuff
very
like
cool.
that. So I'm
so great.
I'm excited. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
But then I'm just like, oh, that's gonna be a lot.
yeah. I know. My
Lot
my wife saw a post come up with my tour dates, and they were just scrolling. And she said I should just turned it off. She was like, "Oh, jeez."
Yeah, I totally get it.
I know.
It's I never want to be the guy, like whenever that Forbes list comes out of
Yeah.
like top 10 comedians and how much they made or whatever.
Yeah.
I always look at that list and I see the amounts of money and I go, give me 1 year, you'll never see me again. Not that I wouldn't work.
That was that Steve Martin bit. Remember that on one
Oh,
of his albums?
Yeah.
When if you get really big, one show,
One show.
goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes. Joe Coy kind of did that. He did 20 dates.
Yeah.
And still made the top 10 list.
Wow.
I don't want to be I don't want to be in the top 10. I want
Yeah.
to be number 11.
Right.
I don't want anyone to know how much money I've made.
Right,
I want to
right.
make all the money, but have nobody know.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
Yeah,
I don't need
that'd
the
be
cousins.
weird.
I don't
Yeah.
need people online being like, well, is he, $35 million a year funny? Like, I don't need that shit.
Yeah.
I just want to do my thing. But yeah, if I have one of those years,
Yeah.
all right, you better move to LA to see me, because I'll just go up at the Comedy Store and that's it.
Yeah.
I might take a casino for fun. I'll do a date in Hawaii just so my daughter can go to the Disney resort out there. That's it. That's it.
I baked you this bread.
What do we got?
It came out this morning.
Ooh.
That's for you and your family.
We will all enjoy it.
It's a good one.
My
Not everyone gets great ones.
oh, is this a sourdough?
Yes.
Oh. My wife's from San Francisco, so
Nice.
she's a sourdough aficionado.
All right.
Okay, so
No
you're
pressure.
the bread master.
Yes, sir.
It's funny, we call
And
my
you send me a picture of bread.
Yep, because my wife made some. So yes, we're excited. Is there a way? I always ask the person, is there
Yeah.
a way this should be consumed?
This just came out, so
Mm-hmm.
it's the flavor's actually going to get deeper over the next day.
Ooh, good.
A nice, good serrated knife.
Good. We got one of those.
And then, there's lots of different things you can put on. There's different ways you can go.
Yeah,
Nothing beats for me just lightly toasted with butter.
that's it.
Because then you can, it's not overpowering the bread.
Yeah.
That's so you can taste the bread
Yeah,
and
yeah.
actually get it.
Good.
And then whatever
like
you love
that.
to throw on it, just throw on it.
Yeah.
Enjoy the hell out
I absolutely will. My daughter's nickname is Carb Monster. when we have the dumplings, she takes the skin off the dumpling, leaves the middle, and just eats the skin.
Good for her.
And she's so like, all right. We know what your vice is. Like she doesn't have an ounce of Italian in her, but it sounds like she
Yeah, that's
should.
amazing. Yeah, little pasta head.
Yeah, she's just straight carb monster, and she's gonna love the
Very
heck out
cool.
of this. That's so like. There's another thing my wife has taught me, because they talk about like love languages, like how does someone express their love and affection for you.
Yeah.
Some people are physical, some people, like for me it's like I will joke with you because
Right.
I want to make you laugh.
Yeah.
That's my thing
Yeah.
if I truly care about you. My wife is she feeds you.
Right.
Like she's got that
Yeah.
part. So if like she loves you, she feeds you, because she's like, yes, it's the most pure form of love. I want you to eat and live and continue existing.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
so it's like this. So whenever someone gives me food, I'm just like, this is. Which, by the way,
100%.
now that I've gone through a few life moments, big ones,
Yeah.
of becoming a parent,
Yeah.
of immense, intense grief.
Yeah.
The best thing you could do, don't text the person, be like, thinking about you.
Yeah.
Send them fucking food. Send them food.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you're
It is
trying
powerful.
to do.
It is powerful.
I know when you're saying, hey, think about you. I know it's with good intentions.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yeah.
But now I feel obligated to respond.
Yeah.
But you want to know what you don't have time to do when you're a brand new parent or when you're just insanely grieving and depressed. You don't think about eating. So feed people.
Yeah. You don't even have to make it. Just send it.
No,
Just
send the
somehow
food.
Get them.
We have the apps.
Yeah.
It's go on the apps.
So
you know the
easy.
person's address. Boom, boom,
You know
boom.
what? You
Food.
inspired me because I have a buddy of mine's birthday is on Thursday.
Okay.
And I was like, it's always a text. And then I know we're going to have like the 8 of us on this chain.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be like, happy birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'd like to send him something. About, what do you send?
Go to a Jewish deli. Send treats.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's all you got to do.
Okay.
Good advice.
Someone did that to me recently.
Yeah.
Best Christmas gift we got.
Yeah.
Someone sent a chocolate babka, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm not Jewish. My wife's not Jewish. Holy crap, do they know how to bake?
I know.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Had a rugula. Oh, it was.
So
oh my
good.
God! Go to a Jewish deli. Send people food. You'll never go wrong.
Yeah.
You'll never go wrong.
Good advice.
So,
Well,
yeah.
enjoy the bread. Let me know how your family likes it.
Thank you.
And,
I shall.
Where's the socials that people can
Yes,
keep track of this endless tour of yours?
Yes, the endless tour of mine is posted on BradWilliamsComedy.com. All the tour dates, all the ticket links, more dates to come.
Nice.
Like I said, international dates will be announced soon. The Instagram, that's the one I'm mostly on.
Yeah.
At Brad Williams Comic. And the special is Starfish. It's on Veeps. So go to Veeps.com and watch that.
Very cool. You're the best. I always love coming into the club and seeing you. You know I light up when I see you. And,
yeah, you saw me in
it's
New
nice
York
you
a few
coming
weeks
in.
ago, and you're like, you're here. You're like, you're never here. I'm like, I know.
It
It's
was
great.
great.
It's wonderful.
Well, thanks for doing this, buddy.
Thanks, Tom.
Have a great year. There you have it, everybody. The great Brad Williams. I hope you enjoyed our conversation. He's a good guy. Make sure you check out his new special, Starfish, that is streaming on Veep. Joey, it's time to wrap up for the week and get out on the road.
Can't wait.
Let's do it, baby.
So are these the dad flights that we've been taking home at 6 a.m. every week?
That's
right.
right.
That's a dad flight?
That's a dad flight.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know that you and the opening acts talk about it behind my back. Why are we going so early? That's why.
Gotcha.
And our return, yeah, I don't think it's that early, but it's pretty early.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can manage.
You don't have any other choice.